Skirt, skirt. Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's, I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli, it's leaving I levy. No sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do, hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm Coos. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like I fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit up my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboy Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's stream. We have a pretty small college basketball slate today on Monday. It's kind of getting to that point in the season where there's conference tournaments. A lot of conferences just kind of aren't playing at all right now in the run-up to those tournaments. Some other conferences have preliminary rounds of their tournaments. I think that the Northeast Conference starts up today at 7 o'clock Eastern. Central Connecticut State and Farley Dickinson. First conference tournament game of the season. That being said, there's still some pretty good games today. Not a whole lot of quantity, but we hope to make up for it with quality. I don't know if Data necessarily feels the same way about today's slate. We were talking earlier about how much he hates it.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate college basketball slate. I hate the 3 games in the NHL today. And I hate the NBA slate today, too. College basketball is probably the one I like the most, or I hate the least. I ain't trying to force things today, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is just that kind of year, though. Or that kind of day, not that kind of year. It has not been that kind of year. It's been a good year, but it is that kind of day. ASIM says, excited for IUPUI to have a Cinderella run this year. Wouldn't that be something if IUPUI somehow won the Horizon League? You never know.
Yeah.
But hope everyone in chat is having a good day. Appreciate all being here. So before we get started, I have to, since I always chirp chat after chat has a bad day, this is, you get 2 minutes to chirp me, chat, if you would like to do so. Because I went 0-5 on Saturday. Been doing these streams for a couple months, and I had never gone 0-5 before. But I did go 0-5 on Saturday. So you get 2 minutes to chirp me, if you would like to do so. I will not ban anybody. If you chirp me after the 2 minutes, you're gonna get banned. Just kidding. But that's just the way this goes. I mean, if you make enough picks, you're bound to go 0-5. It was a rough weekend. That's just the way it is. We're gonna go better than 0-5 today.
I'm just saying, I had an amazing week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was on the other 5 of all of yours.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it works, right?
Yeah. If anyone tuned into last week's Model Monday, we were on the opposite side of almost every single game. And that week, Nick beat me. I think he went 3-2. I went 2-3. But just changes sometimes.
Yeah, and I see. Thank you for all the chirps, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean I'm not gonna shy away from that. I like the one chirp. Who was it? Said 0-5, but you improved your stream lighting. Yeah, I think that was the issue. Was on Saturday, earlier in the morning at 9 o'clock Mountain Time, the sun is shining right through this window, and even though there's a blind, it is blinding still. So all that said, for anybody who is new to the stream, here is how it works. So we have 5 categories, which you can see listed on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. For each of the first 4 categories, we have picked out a game that fits into that category. It's 4 games that are interesting for 4 different reasons. These are not necessarily our top picks of the day, more so some games that we're just starting up some discussion around. The last category is our best bets, where we actually say our favorite pick for today's college basketball slate. Yeah.
I enjoyed that comment too much to let it go. My girl did better than 0-5, and she just went by the teams with the prettier teams.
Yeah, no, Big Germ, I'm proud of your girl.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, yeah, no, you're you're good. You're good. I saw that and laughed also. So, as part of all of this as well, you guys get your opportunity for your voice to be heard. So for each of these games, a poll will be thrown up, and chat, you will have the opportunity to vote on your leans for each of these games. So without further ado, let's hop in to category number 1.
Public intoxication.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
So category number 1, public intoxication, where we look at one of the biggest public plays of the day. And that play today is the Iowa Hawkeyes at home against Northwestern. So Iowa is getting close to 80% of the bets, according to Action Network. There weren't really any games that really fit into this category. I think Fairleigh Dickinson was technically getting more. Plus, there was like a random SWAT game that was also getting more. But as far as games that people actually care about, this was the one. So Iowa at home, 10.5 point favorites, over under set at 151. So Data, who do you have here?
Oh, this one's tough. I see why the money's on Iowa. Obviously, if you look at anything, there's a good chance Iowa's winning this game. If you're asking me who's winning, I'll take the minus 1,000 and I'll take Iowa. But you're asking me if they can cover the 10.5 spread. That's tough because, oh man, the Wildcats. They've been holding their opponents lately on the floor, right? They've had a lot of pressure. They're averaging, what was it? I have it here, 6.8 steals per game, 3.3 blocks. I think this is a lot of points. I think 10.5 is a lot, but I also could easily see Iowa just straight up beating them, straight out, destroying them. I have them winning by 10. Which is right within the spread. But I'm going to go a different way entirely. Last week on Model Monday, I only gave spreads. This week I'm starting off with the total.
All right.
I'm going to go with the over 151 in this game.
I'll let you break the rules here. That's okay.
Is that a rule? Why you give me the spread and the total?
Well, so that's just so everybody knows what the numbers are at. The public play is the spread and not the total.
Yeah.
But I'll let you break the rules.
I like to make money on the games. I don't like trying to bet on things.
No. Don't be silly.
I don't like trying to bet on things I have no edge on, right? My brain can't pick a side. My model can't pick a side. So why would my money pick a side, Yeah,
I respect that. So I like the take in chat here that I think a couple people have said, talking about Iowa's team total over.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to hedge between Iowa covering and the over in the game total. In fact, it's mathematically impossible to have Iowa cover and the total go over and have the team total lose. It's a guarantee to hit. So it's in that sense, it's a very nice hedge.
What's the Iowa total?
Iowa team total. So to get the team total, you want to cut the total in half. So 75.5. Cut the spread in half. That's another 5.25, and add that on to the half of the total for the favorite. So Iowa's team total is probably 80.5, maybe 81, because maybe tack on a half a point.
Yeah, I have total score 83-73. So I think not only does Iowa do their job here a little bit, but Northern Wildcats definitely do their job. I think they get enough points to keep the game close. I think it's going to be a high scoring, fast paced game. The Hawkeyes have one of the highest tempo ratings, so I think we're going to see back and forth. And if you're not sure about the spread and even the team total, I think the full game total, in my opinion, is the best bet here.
Yeah. So I think for me, I'm gonna take Iowa. I don't really hate the over. I'm taking Iowa minus the 10.5 points. It's senior night. I want to put senior night on the SpongeBob meme where he's like that, and then every other letter is uppercase and lowercase, and they alternate like that. Like, you got to take the home team. It's senior night. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. At the same time, so I have Iowa taking this game by 13 points. And I just think coming off a kind of tough game at Nebraska that was tougher, I know, than you and I thought that it would be. I think that Iowa coming back home is going to have a good game. And also, fun stat that I was looking at that we were talking about before the stream. Oh, yeah, senior night's overrated. I was mostly just memeing. I don't actually take the senior night into account at all.
I do. I don't in my model.
Yeah, well, I guess it's...
I do in games that are maybe really close. I prefer staying away from games at senior night.
Yeah, it's more so a question. So Vegas obviously knows that it's senior night. The question isn't, is it senior night? And that means you should take the home team. The question is the fact that it's senior night baked into the line with enough points, like the correct amount of points, in which case it's a non-factor? Is it being overcompensated for, in which case the away team is the lean? Or is it not being accounted for enough, in which case the home team should be the edge?
I mean, you make the same argument on the other side too, right? You got senior night for the home team, so yes, if you lose on senior night, you don't care about your seniors, right? Mm-hmm. But then you got the team coming in, and they're like, oh, this team's gonna be hot senior night. You got the coach telling them, let's go destroy them on their senior night. Crush their morale, get them, really ready for March, right? So you got both teams motivated, really, on senior night. I would imagine. I've never played college basketball, obviously. But
are you sure you didn't play college basketball?
No. But I would imagine winning on your senior night is awesome, but also killing a team on their senior night is awesome, right? So, I feel like you'd be motivated just as much as both sides.
So chat agrees with me here. Chat likes Iowa. 39 votes for Iowa to cover 10.5 compared to 16 for Northwestern to cover 10.5. Yeah, Bohannon is a 9th-year senior. That is this is his 5th senior night.
Yeah.
So chat, hopefully, since we're on the same side here, I have a better day than I did on Saturday. Scrunch said Data was more of a chess team guy.
You're not wrong. I was in my high school chess club.
What did your ELO max out at?
I wasn't ranked.
I had a good friend in college who was an extremely good chess player. He would wake up all through high school and in college before classes, and he had video lessons with a grandmaster from Israel. And he would spend 4 hours on chess every morning.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was really good at chess. I'm not very good at chess. And you know who else isn't good at chess? Probably the teams that we're going to be talking about in category number 2.
Mid-major spotlight.
Millions on the table, that's major. I turn dirt into diamonds, that's major.
So category number 2, mid-major spotlight, where we take a look at a couple mid-major teams that if you have not watched them already, you should, because they are coming for your brackets in March. Today, once again, we are taking a trip to the Mountain West Conference. There weren't a ton of good options here, and this could have also very easily been
Public intoxication.
A public
right?
intoxication play on Wyoming, or it could have also been a bubble bursters play with San Diego State really playing for a lot in this game. This is, all things considered, one of the absolute best games of the day. San Diego State going on the road to Wyoming. So Wyoming, 23-5. Number 2 right now in the Mountain West. 1.5 point underdogs against San Diego State, despite being on their own home court. San Diego State, I think coming into the season, was seen as the best team in the Mountain West Conference, but they haven't quite played up to expectations. They're only sitting at 10-4 in the conference, which is good for 5th place. And this is really a game that San Diego State should be winning if they want to keep their at-large hopes alive for the NCAA tournament. It's going to be tough, though. Wyoming hasn't lost at home all year. All 5 of their losses have come against 5 pretty damn good teams, or 4 pretty damn good teams in New Mexico on the road.
Yeah.
So, Data, what do you think here? So again, Wyoming is 1.5 point dogs, total set at 129.
Yeah, it's definitely sketchy that they're the dogs, even with all the money on them, and they're at home with that kind of home record. It feels like I don't know if you had any money on Troy on Friday.
No, I ended up not.
Yeah, it feels like a Troy repeat, honestly. The problem with San Diego State, like, I love taking the money on the better defensive team, right? And San Diego State is by far the better defensive team here. The problem with San Diego State, in my opinion, and what makes it so coin flippy, is that all of their offense runs through Matt Bradley, right? If you've watched any of these San Diego games, that's literally I think that's their only double-digit point scorer. And so it really comes down to your betting. Is Matt Bradley going to have an on night or an off night, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a tougher one. I think the Dome of Doom, right, as they call it, definitely gives Wyoming a huge edge. Could keep that defense running for the Cowboys' defense don't have a bad defense, right? And they definitely have the edge on the offensive side. I think that, combined with the home court advantage, I'd take the points on Wyoming here. But it's so damn close, like.
Yeah, so what does your model have this spread at? I'm curious.
It actually has it at, here, 65-64 with Wyoming losing.
Neat. Oh, I have it 65-64 Wyoming winning. Or it's technically 64.9 to 64.3.
Yeah, I've got points in there too.
So hella close.
Yeah. It's so goddamn close. This is definitely the game of today. And the one I'm probably tuning into. Either this or, obviously, we're going to talk about the game of the day. Game of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is a game I do not want to have any money on this game. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to stay away, but at the same time,
actually, I might put a little on Wyoming money line just for fun.
That's what I'm saying. I really kind of want to take Wyoming. But I feel like it's more, I really want to enjoy this game as I'm watching it, kind of thing. As far as edge betting and handicapping, I would recommend people who are out there to win money stay away from this game.
Yeah,
I'm not here to lose money. So
no, I don't think anybody's here to lose money.
I am. I'm sitting out here betting correct score every day.
Yeah,
imagine
doing that in basketball.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
64. You guys heard that? Put money on both sides of 65.
Correct score 65-64. Yeah. Which team wins doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Just 65-64 correct score. Both sides. I'm sure it's plus like 100,000 both sides anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's probably closer than that, since that's probably what Vegas has it.
So chat poll results are in. And I believe that the over in this game is the winner. So we had 27 votes come in on Wyoming to cover. compared to only 13 on San Diego State to cover. But the over got even more votes than Wyoming did. 31 votes on the over compared to only 9 on the under.
That's actually surprising. I mean, I think with San Diego's defense, I don't see this total going. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have it exactly at 129, so I have no pick.
Yeah, I also have it at exactly 129. I have it at 129.2.
Yeah. So, but personally, I feel like I would lean the under, right? Like Aztecs are ranked low in tempo. You get San Diego's defense as well as Wyoming's defense. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I think we can expect to hear a little bit from Dilberto on this game. I'm not gonna
pull in Fruity here and see if he's got the best CBB capper in the business. See if he's got a thought on Wyoming.
Fruity didn't vote. Dilberto, I know you were talking in our Twitter group chat earlier about this game. Is it fair to say that you have a take on it that we'll see on the surgical stream later on? I'm gonna wait for him to actually comment, but in the time being, we'll continue the conversation. Also, I see we got the robot, I believe for the first time. Beep boop. Welcome to the stream. So let's go ahead now and move along to category number 3.
Now you get Trent.
Bad to bad like I'm Jordan
I feel like you said
97.
something offensive.
Robbed you in your city and you told. Tory from the 6, you hating on him, Lord knows.
I'm out here looking for
I was
revenge.
gonna say you said something offensive in Robot. Oh, you even said take that back.
Yeah. What if Trent is the robot?
Trent is the robot.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I like that take.
Oh.
So category number 3 is the revenge game, where we take a look at a game that is a rematch from earlier in the season, where one team lost earlier on that maybe shouldn't have, and now they are looking for revenge. Ace makes a good question. Isn't every game a revenge game at this point in the season? Yes and no.
No, and I will tell you why, because I have a game later for that. But wait, what were you gonna say, Gibson?
I was saying that so Iowa and Northwestern, for example, this is the first time this year that they've played, and I think also a lot of it is just due to the perception around the game. Like, how big of an upset was it, or was it close? Like, did it really come down to the wire? Like, is there something on top of that, like, that makes this particular game stand out for the team as one that they maybe had circled on their calendar as the revenge spot?
Yeah.
Ever since the moment that they lost that first game.
Well, I guess. Yeah, there are a few games where the teams have not played against each other, right? Like Iowa and Northwestern, but there are some. Yeah, I guess a lot of the games where one side won. Obviously, it's a revenge game at that point for the other team, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is an excellent point.
Yeah.
So we typically like to take upsets,
Yeah.
where there was an upset the first time around, and now the better team is looking to get their payback on the team that maybe cost them a seed in March.
Not every game is a revenge game at home.
No, but this one is. This one is a revenge game at home. So we're talking about Kansas State and Texas Tech here. So this game is in Lubbock. Texas Tech favored by 12.5 at home, despite the fact that they actually lost by 11 points at Kansas State earlier in the season. In that game, Texas Tech was favored by 5, and they really kind of just sucked, if I'm being completely honest. It was kind of close for the first half, but Kansas State led for the last 10 minutes of the game. They ended up winning that game 62-51. So, Data, what are your thoughts here? Do you think that Texas Tech, I mean, obviously, I think we both agree that they're going to get the revenge in the form of winning.
Yeah.
But what about getting their revenge against the spread? Do you think that Texas Tech covers this, or do you think Kansas State makes it 2 for 2?
Got 4 words for you. Revenge game at home. I had to count it.
It was I knew what you were gonna say.
But it's a lot of points. We had one of these I think like 2 weeks ago when we did Model Monday. And
Yeah, was it the UCLA Arizona State game?
Yeah, I think so,
that was
yeah.
I think that was last week actually.
That was last week, yeah, you're right, yeah. And I said that UCLA had too much. I think it was a 12.5 as well spread, and I thought that was too much. I think I gave it to Arizona State, and I've learned from my mistakes. I am actually going to take Texas Tech this time around. I have them winning by 13. This is actually a really, really close one. Like, I went back and forth on this one when you sent me this one. I think, since the last time these two teams met, Texas Tech has been on a strong run, obviously. Their defense has improved. Their offense has improved. They've been, controlling the pace of a lot of their games. I know they just lost the spread on the last game. But Texas Tech, I think we talked about it earlier, but it's actually 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games following a loss. And they are a different beast at home.
Yeah. So I had an interesting stat also on Texas Tech along the same lines. I think
it's also a revenge game for Trent because he just lost that game to TCU. His home. Shout out Trent.
Shout out Trent. So Texas Tech is really good at home. You just gave a nice stat about that, and what I also think is interesting is so Texas Tech, they have played 6 home games so far this year, immediately following road games, and they are 6-0 against the spread in those 6 games. I'm usually not super into trendy stuff like that, but I kind of think that this makes sense, right? It's a team that really does have a great home court advantage. And I think conceptually it makes sense that coming back home, that they play energized and can outperform expectations. So I like Texas Tech here to get this cover in basically what feels like a pretty similar game to that UCLA Arizona State one from last week.
I think it will definitely be close on the spread, though. Like, I think the last few minutes are going to be a sweat. This won't be a complete blowout. We're up by 30, cashing in our tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah,
I will bet this game, even though I hate betting this game.
Yeah, I'll probably bet this one too.
Yeah.
And even if they do go up 30, right? We can't cash our tickets. We saw that with Indiana yesterday.
Yeah.
They were like literally up 30, and then barely covered. So chat agrees with us here. This is a unanimous pick. 28 votes on Texas Tech minus 12.5. 19 votes on Kansas State plus 12.5. Not a big blowout in terms of the poll, but it is 60-40. I see Betty Tall, whatever, says too many points.
They said Quinnipiac too, man. That game hurt yesterday, man. That was like my only college basketball loss this weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was. And man, I know I did this too early, but I was like, oh, they're up by 13 at halftime. I can stop watching this game. That was yeah. Any Quinnipiac bettors, if I'm even saying that team's name right, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. That one hurt.
Yeah, we're gonna hit the lay today. I don't know what the lay is gonna be, but we're gonna hit it. So Twitch Biddy in the chat just said, please talk about Baylor, Texas. You know what? I think that that's a fantastic idea. So let's now go ahead and hop in to category number 4.
Game of the day.
The ball is tipped and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star.
We can talk about Pacers as well. It seems like we have like 8 comments.
Yeah, I feel like the whole universe is on the Pacers today.
This isn't a NBA chat.
Yeah, I mean we can at the end
Yeah.
in the Q&A time. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other games to talk about, but we can definitely talk about the Pacers.
I originally had 3 units because I thought it was easy money, but as I looked more into it, I think everyone's got like a little bit of a high on the Pacers right now. Yes, after they just blew out the Celtics, yes, and yeah. Let's go to the game of the day. I'll come back to this.
So, game of the day in college basketball is the game between Baylor and Texas. So Texas is at home, 1.5 point underdogs here. Over under set at 135. So both of these teams, I would say, are kind of on a downward trend. I mean, they've both been winning. They feel like they've had, I mean, some injuries. Obviously, I feel like we talk about Baylor on this stream every time that they play. So I'm not going to sound like a broken record and talk about their injuries for the 50th time. And Texas has Trey Mitchell has left the program. But both of these teams are still winning. They're still playing pretty well despite the player absences. But Data, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, we talked about Baylor last week around too, right? With all their injuries and how difficult it's been for them. It's kind of hard to talk about that after, where they just beat Kansas at home. The rough part is Baylor's definitely a worse road team, and Texas is by far a better home team. Sitting here, criticizing Trent for going against his alma mater, and it's not technically because I didn't graduate from Texas. I only went for a couple of years, but I am gonna take Baylor in this matchup in my pick here. But I am putting 0 money on this game, and I think everyone should do the same and just enjoy this game.
Yeah, this game feels gross.
Yeah. The whole slate feels gross today.
Yeah, the whole slate kind of does feel gross. I feel like I have to take Texas here.
Fruity. You can't enjoy a game you don't have money. Fine, I'll put $5 on Baylor.
Yeah.
If you just said Texas, you want to have a $5 bet on this one?
I will put $5.
All right, we've got $5 in the game.
On the 1.5. Yeah. So my reasoning here, I mean, so in my 0-5 on Saturday, I picked against Baylor. I took Kansas to cover in that game against them. It was a close game, but Kansas didn't get the job done. I think that Texas is a little bit better suited to exploit the problems that I was expecting Baylor to have in that game, which namely is getting Baylor's front court into foul trouble. Baylor, they had Flo Thamba did end that game with 4 fouls, but it didn't really take him out of the game. Texas has been a team this year that just because of the style of defense that they play, it feels like all of their games are free throw shooting contests.
Yeah.
So
The thing with Texas for me is that they're a great defensive team, right? But their offense just isn't up to the caliber that it should be, right? They are 3-6 against ranked teams for a reason, and it's because as good as their defense is holding off, lower teams, it's not something that can compete with teams like Kansas and Baylor.
Yeah, and that is definitely an issue for Texas. And I think also that having this game kind of decided at the line instead of in the half court is a way for Texas to kind of neutralize the issues that they'd have in the half court on offense. I mean, they're an extremely good free throw shooting team. They shoot 76% from the line.
Yeah.
So if we find ourselves in that situation, I think it really benefits Texas for multiple reasons. And I'm kind of expecting the game to end up there.
You do have to remember that Baylor and Texas played, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? And let me look it up.
Yeah, it was an 80-63 win.
Yeah.
For Baylor. That was actually the game that Jonathan Tchamwa got injured in.
Oh, yep. Yep, right. Yeah, I think that'll be too much for Texas to handle, right?
Yeah.
They're ranked really well on both sides of the ball. Texas, is a good home team, but they are vulnerable at home. Again, as I said, I have no money on this game. Never mind, that's a lie. I now have $5.
We have $5.
I now have $5 on this game. If I was forced to pick a side, it'd be Baylor. But if you're on Texas, I don't think that's a bad bet either. Like, it's so hard to edge this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
And has Baylor gotten anybody back? I think that the answer is no. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think LJ Cryer is still out, and Jonathan Tchamwa is out for the season.
They're both out, but obviously we've seen Baylor. They're 3-0 now on a 3-win streak. They're learning how to play without them. The other thing that you have to remember is that Baylor was much better on the board last time around. I really love teams that play off the board. And if you look at this game last time, the Bears grabbed 43.3% of their own misses last time around. That's just ridiculous. If you're getting that many attempts and shots in, like, I don't know how you lose a game, right? So unless Texas has, addressed something for this to keep Kendall Brown, off the glass, I think it can be an easy repeat of last time around.
Yeah, so Beam Season says we need Buzz to call the ticket office. I'd be very surprised if there was tickets available for this game.
So going against revenge game at home data, I have learned that the revenge game at home only goes for the team who lost last game and is now favored in this game. If they're still the underdog, those have not worked out for me. See Seattle.
Yeah, that was a game that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So the poll results were very interesting. So we had two options that tied for the win. One of the options was Baylor -1.5 and under 135. And the other option was Texas +1.5 and over 135. Each of those options got 16 votes. So chat is all over the place here. Texas and the under had 9 votes. Baylor and the over had 5 votes. So with 55% of the vote, we have Texas to cover and the under as the co-leans from the chat, which I think kind of makes sense. I think Texas covering this game is probably a little bit more correlated with the under. I think 100%. keeping it slow, keeping Baylor off the glass for second chance points, all of those things lead for just less points in total.
Yeah.
And I think that if Baylor covers, this game is more likely to go over. And yeah, Botlos just said game is too risky. Data and I are in agreement that the only money that we have on this is a $5 bet with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a psycho if you bet on this game. I completely agree.
These kind of games, talking about like where Baylor, Texas, even sometimes the Wyoming ones or whatever, where you have this much debate, you have people on like both sides, right? Like you literally see me and Nick on the other side. These feel like coin flip kind of games. Right?
Oh yeah, and it's so close. It's not like a strong lean for me by any stretch of the imagination on Texas.
And if you like gambling those kind of games, that's fine, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with like gambling those type of games, enjoying the game, trying to watch it. But if we're talking about capping, right, actually handicapping games where you want an edge on the game to overall make money in the long term period, you don't take games like this where you have no edge data or statistically. I mean, maybe you do, maybe obviously not everyone's the same. This is what me and Nick have. You might have your own opinions, thought, research, data, maybe even your own model, and you have an edge. But based off of what we're talking about here, neither Nick or I have an edge on either one of these games, which means for us it's not a game in the long run we would take over and over again, right?
Yeah, I agree. DB Track said I wouldn't even put $5 on it. We're putting $5 on it for the content.
But Fruity strong-armed me, you know? He literally came onto the stream and said, put money on this game or you're not allowed to watch it. And I want to watch this game, you know?
Yeah, Fruity, the master of peer pressure.
Yeah.
So now it is time to move into the last category of the day, which is where we actually give out our favorite picks. And in order for me to make a poll, chat, on what your favorite picks are, as always, I need to know what your favorite picks are. So take a couple seconds, type out in the chat what your favorite college basketball play of the day is. If it is a spread, give me the team that you're on and the number that the spread is at. If it's a total, give me both teams and the actual number for the total. And if it's a money line, give me the team that you're on plus the money line price. Give you guys a couple seconds. Here is the quick video clip.
Big brain plays.
I think Fordham's probably going to win that.
Yeah, so I've seen Fordham in the chat twice already, so I've thrown that one in. Ballsack State plus 69. That's an excellent bet every day, Landon. You should pitch that one on Trent Stream today.
Or Wyoming. Wyoming looks very... Many people are on Wyoming.
Yeah, I see two people on the UCLA Washington over. That number's at 139 and a half.
Yeah, I guess while Nick's doing this, I'll speak to the little bit of the Pacers magic. So I did have 3 units on Pacers last night. I was also running off the high of the Celtics, and I was like, oh, this spread's gonna move fast. I'm gonna grab Pacers while they're a dog. And I did, after looking more into it, researching it, looking at the data, I did lower my bet from 3 units to 1 unit. I still think Pacers win this game, but I think it's much closer than people are giving it credit for. Everyone's calling it a lock or the easiest game to make money on, and maybe it is. Maybe Pacers are gonna win by 15, 20 points, and we were all dumb for not taking the freest bet ever. But I think that people are undervaluing Magic at home, especially recently. If you look at their past few games, they've held teams like the Mavs and the Bulls to under 110 points. That's ridiculous, right? They can play well defensively against good teams. They're averaging more than 110 points per game while making 46% of their shots. It's not something that you can just say, oh, Pacers won against Celtics. They've lost 8 of their last 9 games, right? And 6 of their last 7 road games. They looked good against the Celtics. I won't deny that. But 1 game is not enough to say Pacers are a middle-of-the-pack team. In my opinion, I think, again, like I said, the Pacers still take this game. I still have money on the Pacers. But I would not be throwing your house or your mortgage on this game as the freest bet of the year. Vegas has messed up. And that's just me. Maybe you do put your house on it, Pacers win by 30, and now you have 2 houses.
You should not be throwing your house or your mortgage on it. You should be throwing your house and your mortgage on it.
Yeah, and then you'll have 2 houses tomorrow when Pacers win by 20, you know? I'm still rooting for Pacers to win by 20. As I said, I've got money on them, but yeah, Magic can be good. They don't have a 0-loss record right now for a reason, right?
If any team had a 0-loss record right now, I'd be very impressed.
Yeah.
So the poll is up. I'm sure I could not appease everybody. Pretty much every pick had people on both sides. It's just kind of the way that it works with a small slate like this. But Data, what is your top college basketball play for today?
It's tough. The slate is tough. The over we talked about earlier was one of the ones I was leaning towards. Fordham was definitely one that was a really good pick as well. But I think my game, and I think this was another public intoxication. And I think the public's spot on this one as well, which I think we almost made this the public intoxication game. Mm-hmm. And then that's the FDU game. This game should not even be happening. The only reason these two teams are playing right now is because FDU had to forfeit a game and Connecticut won a game because of a forfeit on the other side. Otherwise, FDU would have a better conference record right now.
You know what? You know what's funny? So Fairleigh Dickinson has more conference wins than just wins.
Yeah. They played some very tough teams. Like, if you just look at these two teams' record, you'd be like, why is FDU favored? One of them is 4-21, and the other one is 7-23. Like, I'm gonna take the 7-23 team, right? But no, FDU, same matchup, same game, same everything. They shit on this team. What did they won by 20? Yeah, they won by 20 a month ago. What has changed in the last month? Connecticut still is playing the same way they were playing a month ago. FDU is still playing the same way they're playing a month ago, right? Mm-hmm. Actually, no. FDU is probably arguably playing better, right? They've had some good games against Wagner, against Sacred Heart, and I know they lost against LIU, but they had a good game. I'm taking FDU here, -4. I think it's at right now, but I'll take if you get -3.5, that's good value, but I have it as -4.
Yeah, I think that both numbers are up.
My book sucks though.
Oh, so actually, it's 4 or 4.5 now. I was looking at this earlier and it was at 3.5. It's actually 4.5 everywhere.
See, this is one of those games that's actually moving, right? The money's on Wyoming. The money's on Iowa. The money is there, and the spread's barely being moved, right? I think Wyoming hasn't even moved since it's opened. Maybe it went from +2 to +1.5. Iowa, I know it moved from 9.5 to 10.5, which is good. But Farley's been moving like crazy, and it's because Vegas knows this is a bad bet for them, I think.
Yeah, and to address the comment that they played on February 5th and Central Connecticut won, but so that game was at Central Connecticut State. They played like 5 days before that at Fairleigh Dickinson, and at Fairleigh Dickinson, which is where this game is today, was the one that Fairleigh Dickinson won by 20.
Did you tell the starting lineup of the FDU game? No, honestly, the only two players I know on that team are Brandon Rush and Dunn.
Yeah, no, I think he was talking about G Unit.
Oh.
Could tell you the starting lineups.
Yeah, he can. Yep, 100%. Yeah. Is G Unit actually not on FDU? That seems strange that he's not on FDU.
Yeah, I don't know. If anybody in the chat knows what he has, feel free to post it. So, for me, my favorite play today is actually going to be one that was in the poll. I'm going to take the UCLA and Washington over 139.5. Reasons. Model likes this. Model likes this quite a bit. So Washington, for anybody who doesn't know, is a team that runs a zone defense. And The reasons why, so when UCLA kind of has poor offensive performances, it's because they struggle from three. Like in that loss that they had against Oregon, they put up 63 points despite shooting 16.7% from three. That's 4 for 24. Against Arizona State, before that was a game that finished at under 120 points. UCLA only shot 30% from three. Against the zone defense, I mean, how do you beat it? You beat it by shooting well from three. And you typically, it's easier to shoot well from three against a zone just because you have space. UCLA is a good three-point shooting team. They shoot 35.4% from there on the season. So I think that kind of combined with the tempo that Washington likes to play at makes this a good spot. They played earlier this year. That was at UCLA. It was a game that finished 76-50, which is under this number. But I don't think Washington only scores 50, especially at home. So I think that there's a lot of room for more points.
Sorry, what was it? What was it? Washington State what?
Washington, UCLA over 139.5.
Oh. Thought you were going with the Washington State game. Trying to see what my model has for that. You can keep going while you do. While I do.
Yeah, I mean that's all I got. Yeah, people in chat are talking about the team total.
Chat, right?
Yeah, that's definitely an option there as well. So the poll results. Runaway winner, Fordham, -2. At 24 votes, 35%. The runner-up was Syracuse and North Carolina under 156, which still got 13 votes. In that same game, North Carolina -8 also got 13 votes. So it looks like people might be on a Syracuse team total under type of deal. This pick, the one that I'm on, got 10 votes, 15%, and Hofstra -5.5 finished at 8 votes, which is 12%.
I actually like that Washington UCLA over that you put in. I might bet that one too. I've got 142.
Yeah, I have it, I think, even a little bit higher than that. And apparently G-Unit has it at 143.5.
That's a pretty good bet.
So that's good, yeah. So I think with this Fordham game, I saw Ollie post it earlier in the chat, and I saw Ollie post it on Twitter. Yeah, UMass has been bad. We were actually close to putting that game on the agenda today as a court streakers game because UMass has failed to cover 6 straight games. They've really fallen off this season. I will say though, exactly like King Drex literally just said, taking Fordham as a favorite feels just wrong.
Yeah.
in a conference game. I feel like there's nobody that they should be favored against.
I went back and forth on Fordham a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I still think they take this game, moneyline wise, but it's definitely close. I don't think I'd put any money on this game.
Yeah, it feels gross.
Yeah.
And yeah, so guys, talking about the UCLA total, I'm showing 138.5 on DraftKings, 139s on Sugar House and WinBet, 139.5 on Caesars, FanDuel, MGM, Bovada, PointsBet, among others. So I think 139.5 is the most common number. So that's what I'll use, even though obviously 138.5 is better. And take that if you can get it instead.
Yeah, every time. Yeah, FDU's been moving up. I had it at 3.5 before the stream started, and it's already moved to 4 middle of the stream, and now it's 4.5 on my.
Yeah, it was 3.5 before the stream started.
Yeah.
So I think we are done for the day. It is time to go hop into the Book It stream. Thank you, as always, to everybody for being here, and big thank you to Data, as always, for joining us on Model Mondays. Everybody, if you are not doing so already, be sure to go follow Data on Twitter. Closing in on 10K. I just noticed.
I'm gonna go sleep.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do something big for 10K. I don't know what yet. We'll see. I got some suggestions in my tweet. Maybe I'll sleep for 10K. I'll sleep for 10K minutes.
That sounds nice. Very relaxing.
How much is that an hour?
But yeah, I will be back tomorrow with
6 hours? Maybe not that.
yeah, no, that's like Rip Van Winkle.
10K seconds.
10K seconds. That's probably a little more reasonable.
Oh yeah, that's 3 hours. That's
3 hours.
reasonable.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with Ben. I believe there's a full schedule out on the Capwise Twitter account for the week. Be sure to go check that out. See y'all tomorrow. Good luck with the bets. Take it easy.
So,